hope that you are all doing well. Today's update is as what you can see. I know it's surprising, it shocked me too, but let's talk about it. Okay, I wanna go through each thing, and I wanna definitely talk about this with you because I'd like it if you could walk with me and see what's going on with the minstrel class, because I play the minstrel class. I've been playing the minstrel class for many years. It's not my main, but it's like my secondary tune, and I actually play it more than my main, which is pretty funny. But that aside, I have the right to speak about today's topic, and because I have experience with this minstrel class, I know it very well. I know how to play it. So, as you can see by the title, they are going to be pretty much killing the yellow line minstrel, and this kind of doesn't surprise me because I think it's known by the majority of the player base that yellow line minstrel is not really ever played. In fact, people just switch to yellow, do all the buffs to get all the benefits of yellow line, and they switch back over to blue, and they start the fight powerful. And the devs clearly don't like that, which is actually funny because they themselves said that too, and they themselves said that people don't really play yellow line, and I guess this is the consequence for it. But anyways, this is the dev that posted it, or the game manager, I'm not sure, but they said there are some changes to Minstrel. Please direct your Minstrel feedback, and they're open to feedback right now. Minstrels can no longer specialize in the Protector of Song trait line. Ooh, because Yellow line can no longer be chosen as a specialization. Yellow traits costs have been adjusted. In general, yellow traits only cost 1 point, while skill granted traits cost 2 and significant traits cost 3. Note, in case you missed this above upon logging in, blah blah blah. Okay, so uh, these are the changes that they're gonna make. So let's look at Call to Greatness / Song of Aid. So these are the two capstone skills, I would say, Song of Aid and then Call to Greatness in the yellow line, which were extremely outdated for nearly a decade. And I'm surprised it took as long as it did to change it. And they did hire a new dev, and I think that he's the one that looked through the Minstrel finally, because they have now more people, so they can look through more classes deeply. And he's probably the one that decided to make this change. And it's long overdue, but I don't like every change about it, and I'm sure you guys don't either. So let's just get through the first thing, okay? So, like I said, Call to Greatness. Rework Call to Greatness significantly. It now has a 7-minute cooldown and resets 1 key class cooldown per trait tree for every fellowship or raid member within 25 meters, okay? There's a 2-minute cooldown on receiving this effect. Armor set bonuses, which reduce Call to Greatness cooldown change from minus 45 seconds to minus 60 seconds. Okay, great. Armor set bonuses, which gave Call to Greatness a chance to trigger its effects, now gives Call to Greatness a chance to reset the cooldown of Song of Aid. That is pretty nice, I guess. Song of Aid no longer grants you class specific skill bonuses. Now grants your fellowship a heal over time, as well as reduces and reflects a portion of incoming damage. Okay, this is one of the first things that is problematic to me. So there is a trait in the yellow line, which I'm going to show you guys, that did this, okay? Right here. Piercing Cry causes some of the damage the fellowship takes to be reflected upon your enemies. You can keep this up. This is one of my favorite things about the yellow line, I will have to say. And the fact that I'm going to have to depend on Song of Aid, which is, where the heck is it? Anyways, the fact that I'm going to have to depend on Song of Aid to do that, which has a 7-minute cooldown, is insane to me. So now you can't have this effect on your fellowship for the entire time, which is something that sucks, okay? Let me see, and it has a heal over time effect that lasts for 10 seconds. The buff reduces and reflects 15% of damage for 10 seconds, then 5% of damage for another 15 seconds. Okay, that's 30 seconds. So all anthems have been reduced to 30 seconds. Anthems share a 25-second cooldown together, which is something that people really don't like. And apparently there's this new thing called Invigorating Anthem. So anthems no longer alter quotas, which is a big problem for me because the nature of the minstrel class is that Codas are super important. They should alter the effects of the codas. I mean, that's how we've been playing since this game came out. The fact that one of these devs wants to change it is preposterous, okay, to say the least. How can you want to do that? And I feel like this dev doesn't even know the game. He's just a newbie. He doesn't really know the history or anything of the game, but I can't make assumptions about that, can I? Okay, all anthems grant a benefit to your entire fellowship or raid. Okay. Anthem of the Third Age. This is the one when you trade into Redline. Now gives a 20% cry and call damage to yourself, plus 5% light, fire, lightning, and frost damage to your group. This is very nostalgic. I remember just the Tale of Tales used to do something like this back in the day. I'm starting to have a feel for this, just like how they reduced the anthems to 30 seconds. Like back in the day, the anthems were shorter. Um, and I feel like that they're trying to go for that old school vibe, but they're kind of failing at it. But let's see. Anthem of the Third Age. Resonance. Okay, this is the one. Now gives a less potent induction modifier. This is my big issue here because I'm a Blue Minstrel by heart. People play Blue Minstrel at endgame and in groups. This is super important. Blue line is the most important trait tree of the Minstrel, hands down, because this is their class. Because this is their function in the game, is the heal line. They are used for their healing in groups. People don't want their damage, you know. All they want is the healing. And this has pretty much been, this is going to offer a less heal per second because obviously, you know, the longer the heals, it's not good, but gives a plus 5% outgoing and minus 5% induction duration to your group. Okay, that is kind of odd. But not everybody heals though in our group. Anthem of Composure now grants less tactical mitigation again. Wow, they just nerfed this recently. That is crazy. But gives 3% Shadow Acid and Fire mitigation. That's insane. Anthem of Composure. Oh, this is one of the old skills. New / returning. Plus, let me see, minus 1 to 4% incoming damage formerly on Inspired Fellows, so it's not going to be on Inspired Fellows anymore. And 3% lightning and frost mitigation. Yeah, very odd. Anthem of the Free Peoples is another new / returning one, and I remember both of these skills back in the day. 1 to 5% incoming healing and 2 to 10% outgoing damage. That kind of replaces, I feel like, Anthem of the Third Age melody that used to exist. Okay. Anthem of Prowess, plus 5% melee damage, minus 5% attack duration, agility, and 5% or craft and fell rot mitigation. I think this is only helpful in PvP, correct me if I'm wrong. Anthem of War bonus to melee damage has been moved to Anthem of Prowess. Okay, so what's Anthem of War gonna do then? The tracery Anthem of War damage buffs now includes Prowess in its name. This tracery is essentially changed with the buffs modified, but the tracery are split between the War and Anthem of Prowess. Weird. Okay, the tracery Anthem Duration has had its effect halved now, so I would have, like for example, I would have the one. Okay, I have like my yellow traits on right now. Look at my yellow book. Okay. So, what did I spend? What did I spend around? Okay. If we want to look at my character, where is it? Anthem Duration. Okay, this will now be halved. So right now it's 60 seconds. This will only be 30 seconds in the future, which is kind of a bummer. Alrighty, let's continue. Anthem share a cooldown of 25 seconds. Wow, it's crazy. Anthems no longer alter quotas. See Invigorating Anthems. Wait, what am I doing? I've already talked about that. Okay. Where was I? Okay, new trait, Invigorating Anthem. So that's the one. Rank 1 grants anthems a personal effect when used formally, gained from using anthems followed by codas. Okay. Ranks 2 to 4 reduce anthem cooldown slightly. Coda Fury damage increased slightly, yada yada yada. Fellowship damage buff reduced to 1%. 5% with Thunderous Codas, which is a different benefit you'll get. I don't know the nature of that yet. Okay. Coda Melody. Now, Coda Melody buff now gives 1% resistance penetration, 5% with Thunderous Coda, and oh, they're gonna remove the partial block parry and evade rating. What the heck? That's actually important. Coda of Resonance buff reduced to 1% incoming healing, 5% with Thunderous Codas. Stance-based skills, so these are the stance-based skills. Melody of Battle. Reflect potency is still very small, but is now based on incoming damage. Now gives a 3% parry bonus rather than parry rating. New/merged trades Memories of Battle adds a chance to apply a threat generation effect to the recipient of Melody of Battle. Echoes of Battle now applies debuff formerly on Timeless Echoes of Battle. Damage reduced slightly. Timeless Echoes of Battle now applies a lesser version of its former debuff. Damage increased slightly. Call to Aromi now available in Melody stance with reduced damage. I don't like what they're doing this. Debuff duration increased. Okay, sorry. Debuff duration increased when used in Melody. Reduced debuff potency when used in Dissonance. Okay. Both debuffs will stack with each other themselves. Only 2 of these debuffs can be active on a target at any given time. Okay. Cultivate. Okay, Cultivate can now be used in Melody stance. It's like, wow. Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of Redline a little bit? Dissonant Strike, Hero Strike, and Healer Strike have had their damage and healing values rebound slightly against one another. Piercing Cry will now stun on critical hits and remove corruptions only in Melody stance. That's crazy. So this was one of my issues. Piercing Cry, it's a very important skill that saves many people. Guess this is only helpful in Melody stance now. Dissonant Piercing Cry damage increased slightly. Major Ballad Resonance can now target allies rather than healing in an AoE around the caster. What? Dude, I use this AoE heal all the time. This is literally what I use with Soliloquy of Spirit. Or if I find that my fellowship is close by at like any time, I use Major Ballad to kind of just, it's like a little mini Inspire Fellows, if you know what I mean. I can kind of replace it because I kind of spam it, and it's like a overtime AoE heal kind of when I spam it. What the heck? Cry of the Valor damage increased slightly and no longer buffs your in-combat moral regen. Dang. Cry of the Wizard's damage increased slightly. Inspire Fellows no longer grants a 1%. -1% incoming damage effect now found on Anthem of Compassion. Cry the Core's cooldown increased from 60 to 90 seconds. What the heck? New trait Anthem of Compassion. Watcher of Resolve Trait Tree. The trait improved Inspire Fellow no longer adds damage reduction. That effect is now Anthem of Compassion. New trait Thunderous Codas. Coda Fury deals additional damage after a brief delay. Coda Melody has a 25% chance to reset Anthem cooldowns. Oh, so they want you in Melody stance. I can tell what they're doing. Coda Resonance applies a small splash shield around your target after a brief delay. Ranks 2 to 5 increase the fellowship wide buffs from your Codas. Cry the Valor is now a red line set bonus. Only accessible if you are specialized in the Warrior Skull tree, which is the red line. The trait Fierce Cries is now a trait in the red tree, and its potency has been increased to 20%. Triumphant Spirit, now a blue line set bonus, only accessible if you are specialized in the Watcher of Resolve tree. Triumphant Spirit now has a base 2-minute 45-second cooldown, formerly achieved by spending another trait point on it. So the next one is the trait Raise Our Spirits has been moved to the blue tree. It will cause Raise's Spirit to apply a small AoE heal after a brief delay. Its max rank has been reduced to 4. Whoa, I did not know that. Word. Okay, word spreads. The trait has been merged with Strength of the Hammerhand rather than adding a mastery buff. Rank 3 now increases single target skill damage while the bubble is active. The potency of this damage buff is greatest for Song of the Hammerhand, weaker for Gift of the Hammerhand, and weakest for Legend of Helm Hammerhand to reflect the increased number of active. Guys, I'm not liking this. Like, I thought that they killed off Raise Our Spirits because that's a useless skill. Like, let's be honest. Additional ranks in perfect performance. Oh, sorry. The trait improved hero strike is now improved strikes. It now improves all 3 skills, damage by up to 30% and healing by up to 50%. Additional ranks in perfect performance now also increase the duration of the buffs granted by this trait. The trait whatever time cycle is now called Cacophonous Echoes, as this trait improves both damage and conversion echoes, as well as the red line capstone trait Harsh Echoes. Okay, the trait of all traits now has 5 ranks and its effects haven't changed slightly. Its max bonus is now 10% outgoing healing and 15% damage. Increased potency of debuffs from the trait Strike a Chord. The trait sharing story has been split into 2 separate traits. Song of Woe increases the Valor crit chance of 1 to 5%, and sharing a story causes Valor criticals to reset all versions of Piercing Cry. Tale of Tales. Here it is. The Tale of Tales trait no longer grants you a passive buff or all. I hated when they did this. The Tale of Tales will cause your anthems to tear up to a 30-second duration raid-wide buff, increasing potency and granting additional bonuses each time it tears up. Tale of Tales effect will grant you fade resistance, finesse, critical rating, and vitality at the highest tier. Still has that duration reduced to 10 seconds. This is what I hated. I think that they're doing this for the Moors, for the PvP. Tracer Still Has Death now reduces the Still Has Death cooldown by 48 to 66 seconds, depending on rarity. So these are just some fixes. So let's read it. The former stat bonus Inspire Follows damage reduction stacks now gives a 30% chance for Coda of Melody to reset Anthem cooldowns. Oh. Former stat bonus Inspire Follows damage reduction now gives extra duration for the song at 8 lesser damage redirect. Several effects haven't changed from minus all skill inductions to minus healing skill inductions. Several traits and effects have had their icons changed to better reflect with their skill. Okay, yada yada yada. Removed Protector of Song, Trait Shield Focus, thank God. Corresponding skills, and you can pretty much read the rest. There's really not a lot, so I'm finally done reading that. So, you guys saw the thing that they're gonna do. So they moved this to the blue line, which I will still not trade it because I never use Raise's Spirit anyways, and they removed Triumph Spirit, which is pretty crazy, but alright guys, I mean, because that's pretty much all I have to say for today. I love you guys, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time, everybody. Bye guys.